Welcome to the Purpose Podcast. I'm your host, Gabe.
And I'm your co-host, Josh.
And today is February 19th, 2026. You're going to be seeing this on the 23rd. Brand new week, no holidays. So it's going to be a full week for everybody.
Full blast.
This week for me was only 3 days because the bank was off Monday. And then I was sick Tuesday. So I had a lot of fun laying in bed, miserable, back hurting,
I
sweating,
bet
hated it.
it's
But
cool.
I think it was only a bad cold. So
And you're healed, so thank you, Jesus.
barely. So if I sound kind of congested, please don't um don't make fun of me, please.
We'll bear with you.
Thank you. But today's inspirational quote, it kind of goes along with our topic. It's "He that cannot obey cannot command" by Benjamin Franklin. I was telling Josh about this quote I was about to do right before we started, and he says, "You can't go wrong with Bill." Oh, Billiam Franklin.
Listen, Ben is on the bill. He's on the $100 bill.
I like your comeback there. That was good.
I,
That was good. I'll give you that
I,
one.
I knew my facts. I just didn't know how to say.
You just you messed up your words.
Yeah.
But our first topic today is Abraham leaving without knowing where he was going. And my scripture for this topic is out of Genesis 12, 1 through 4. Now the Lord say to Abram, go from your country and your kindred, I think it's kindred, and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that ye will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and who dishonors you, I will curse. And in in and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. So, in this story, God tells Abram to leave to find this land. And he didn't give any instructions on how to get there. He also didn't tell him why. But he didn't give him a map, he gave him a compass, no gave him a timeline to get there. Absolutely nothing. The only thing he had was his faith. Abram dropped everything to obey God's command. He trusted before he saw, moved before knowing, and relied on God before his own logic. Later in 1705, God changed his name from Abram to Abraham to symbolize how he is the father of nations, and he promised and his promised covenant with his offspring. So the moral here is you're not going to always have the full plan. And Abraham's story is a good example because it shows that we need to have faith in God's plans for us. And that faith is trusting God's word when we don't have the full picture.
I like that. I like when you said that we don't always have a full plan because we think we do, but we don't because God's plan is way better than our plan. And when I was reading about Abraham, I get reminded that we have to put our trust and faith in the Lord. And I got the same Bible verse that you used, Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 3. Now the Lord has said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, make your name great, and shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and will curse him who curses you. And in all the families of earth shall be blessed. And also in Hebrews chapter 11, it talks about how Abraham obeyed God and was blessed. And he had no idea what was going to happen, but he took that leap of faith and he obeyed God and he trusted God. And Abraham can be a good example of how we should live. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. And when we don't know what to do or what direction to go down, we gotta trust God. Because it might seem like what? Like what am I doing? But God has something in store for you. You just have to obey what God tells you to do and you will be blessed.
Hmm.
And sometimes you have to walk into that unknown, but always remember that God is with you no matter where you go.
Well, let's say that you're going down a certain journey or you have a plan, and let's say you feel like God is calling you for that plan or that journey, whatever. And let's say you're starting to rush it. Okay, so is that really obeying Him? Not really, because I mean, you're
Mm.
following your desires
Yeah,
instead of being
you're not
patient with Him.
following the Lord's.
So when you come into a crossroads in any plan or journey, you really need to talk to God and ask Him, what do I need to do?
Hmm.
What do you want me to do? What can I do to put myself in the best position? Or just ask Him, to give me the opportunity to advance, give me an opportunity to do something else, whatever. And he might not even tell you right then what he wants you to do. It might be the next day, it might be next week, months, however long. But I feel like even in my life and it probably in your life and everybody else, we kind of rush instead of
Hmm.
being patient to make sure we're doing the right things.
Yeah,
And
and
I feel
that
like
goes,
I feel like it goes hand in hand with obeying.
uh and that goes with anything,
Mm-hmm.
work. You rush through your work at your job.
And then you mess up
Yeah,
big
you
time.
rush through your schoolwork. You're gonna mess up.
Mess up big
You
time and
rush
fail.
through, you
I know how
rush
that
through
feels.
God's plan. It's gonna mess up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of times we just need to slow down and just. I need to do better with that too. I need to slow down sometimes and just breathe, talk
Hmm.
with God for a minute, and then go on.
Yeah.
And just make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm treating the people the right way, whatever the situation is. I
Hmm.
just need to slow down and obey.
Yeah. But me personally, I'm impatient when it comes to things.
I
So,
can be very impatient. Okay, I become irritable when I'm impatient. Like
so I
I
need
get.
that reminder too. Slow
Mm-hmm.
down, trust the process.
Because I like a lot of times I like to. A lot of times I don't enjoy the journey like I'm supposed to. So okay, and then our second topic of the day is going to be obedience versus understanding. And when I read this, I said, okay, I need to know what the definitions of obedience and understanding is. So, for a quick little research, I found that obedience is active compliance following directions, and understanding is intellectual or spiritual comprehension of the why behind instructions. Obedience isn't about the why, it's about trust. And this kind of goes back to the Abraham story I just shared and you shared. He probably didn't know why God wanted him to move, but he did anyways. And that really shows his faith and his trust he had with the Lord.
Hmm.
And you see that love and trust to God is more valuable than anything. Um, got notes here. Um, if you just be patient and you keep an open mind with God, He is going to give you instructions when the time is right. And sometimes it's not going to make sense. I mean, I'm sure when He told Abraham to leave, he probably was like, "This is my home. My family's here. My pets are here. My kids. I mean, my friends. Everybody's here. Why do I need to move?" That's just metaphorically speaking there. But if you go down that path, eventually decisions you make or outcomes that happen, you may get an understanding of those instructions more clearly and why it's being shown to you. The obedience is a submission to God that shows your faith, trust, and love to the Lord. What did you get, Josh?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still going. My bad.
It's okay. I figured you. I figured you kind of thought I was still going.
You done
Usually, I
so
got
good.
longer
I was
stuff.
trying to take it in.
Well, thank you, thank you. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm probably lost in what you're saying. And I'm gonna give you the applause.
Obedience versus understanding.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start with a verse from Proverbs 3, 25. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. There's a difference between obedience and understanding. And in simple terms, understanding is when you know why something is happening, you know how something works, rather than obedience. You don't know how or why, but you're doing it because someone in a higher power has put you in that position. And we see the difference between obedience and understanding in the Bible. Like Abraham, who we're using tonight, he didn't know why God wanted to move. Why he didn't know why God wanted him to move, but he did it anyways. And we also see with Jonah, Jonah understood that God was merciful and decided not to go to Nineveh. But understanding is more of a mindset of I will do it when I see what it
Mhm.
is. And obedience has a mindset of I'll do it because I know and trust the person telling me to do it. And there's a time when obedience and understanding can come together. And this usually happens because of someone's pride, trust, faith, and humility. But there is sometimes when obedience and understanding can come together because you understand how something works because you obeyed and you done it,
Mhm.
you witnessed it.
And another thing about how we was talking before, if we take the shortcuts, we may not get the lesson that we need to learn. We may not develop certain skills we need to know. Um, and sometimes we might lose out on some wisdom that God's trying to show us. Because sometimes He puts you through certain situations that will give you, like I said before, like wisdom. He give you some more skills. He may teach you how to. He might teach you how to deal with heartbreak. He might teach you how to deal with any type of emotion. And he may even show you, like, let's say you have some friends and they're doing you wrong, and you go through a journey with them, like they're being your friends, and all of a sudden it turns south, it gets sour,
Mm-hmm.
and so he puts you through, like in other episodes that we talk about seasons, he puts you through a season, and let's say instead of you waiting out and trusting God in this process, when you're hurt, when you're wanting friends, let's say instead of waiting for new friends, you go out and you find some, just let's say you just go out and you find a group of friends who who are just not the best people to hang around. They're not good influences. And then that takes you down a path that can really hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of keep on going and going through it and finding friends that can actually benefit you,
Exactly.
you lose out on all that on all that wisdom. You lose out on really learning how to deal with like sadness. Because instead of dealing with those emotions, you kind of push them to the side just so you can feel happiness again.
Mm-hmm.
And that happiness is going to lead to something that hurts you.
And always think of it this way. People all the time, well, I can change that. I can change the way they act. I can change the way they do this. Are
It
you
comes from the
changing?
heart too
Are you
with that.
changing them, or are they changing you?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Something
Because
to think about.
a lot of people say that when they get in like in a relationship or a friendship, it's how that person can change, we'll change them. But a lot of times they're the ones who get changed.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the hard truth, but it's very much true. I've seen that a lot of times. And you really being in any type of bit in school, public or private, whatever, even outside of school, even when you're grown ups, you kind of see it. I mean, you get in a relationship and you say, "Oh yeah, this person does this, and this," and I don't, but I can change it. He can do better. I'll get him in a church.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you don't get him in a church. Let's say he gets you out of church.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you go to a party. Let's say you have one drink, and then that drink leads to more. Let's say that becomes an everyday thing. Let's say you found some pot. You smoke pot that one time, then you smoke some more, and it becomes an everyday occurrence. The thing is, the bad influences are going to be more influential in your life than the good is
Mm-hmm.
because the devil is trying to take you away from your relationship with God. So that doesn't mean that good influences is not powerful because it is. And once you realize that, and once you start actively going for it, the bad is going to weigh way much more in your life. But as soon as you feel the spirit, as soon as you start feeling that you need to do better, it turns the other way, in my opinion, from my personal experience.
Right.
Everybody's different though. So a lot of people might not believe me on that.
I'm right there with you on that.
Our third topic today is faith isn't logic, it's surrender. And me and Josh was talking about this. We both didn't really get a whole lot, so bear with us. And if we go off on a little crazy train here, um,
Yeah, because
it'll be okay.
this is coming straight out of my mind, so we don't know how
Yes, hey,
it's
that's
gonna
fine. That's
sound.
fine. I like that though.
So the third one was faith isn't logic, it's surrender. And that statement is very powerful. Like you would hear somebody on TV saying that, but and there's truth in it. That's why it sounds
Mm-hmm,
powerful. And faith is not, it don't go against logic, but it goes way above logic, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm,
And when you think about logic, you're thinking about what's the facts, what makes it make sense, and how is this going to come to play at the end. Surrender says that you trust, you You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it makes sense, but you trust. Your the control that you want over that thing, you're giving it you're giving it away to somebody with a higher power, like God. Like if I'm going through a situation I don't know how to go through, I'm surrendering it to God. And I go on about my day without needing a specific answer because I've surrendered it. Now I'm just going to trust God. And back to Abraham, he left his home. And if you think about it in a logical standpoint, it don't make sense because, like you said earlier, all of his stuff was there. His home was there, his family, friends, pets, everything was there. So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to leave. But staying at his home would have been more safe. If for me, it would have made me feel more safer because that's my home. I feel safe at my home. But his faith required him to surrender and feeling comfortable at his home, having control over his items, and knowing that everything at home is good and safe. He had to give that up. He had to surrender that. And faith is not blind, irrational. I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. Irrationally, but it's trust in the character of God.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
It's not that you're ignoring reality, but it's knowing who God is
Mm-hmm.
and that you're willing to trust and you're willing to put your things in Him. And when you think logically, you want control. You want the answers. You want to know how it's going to play out. But when you trust in God, your faith surrenders that control. And faith trusts the one who holds the outcome. So your trust is placed in God. And surrender is hard. I'm not going to lie
It is.
because you're letting go of something that you're comfortable with, something that you enjoy, something that you like, and you're placing it at Jesus' feet. You're letting it go. Whatever stronghold has on you, you're letting it go. What makes you feel good, what makes you feel comfortable, you're letting it go. So it's hard. And surrender doesn't mean that you're turning your brain off. It means that you're just placing your trust in something, or you're placing your trust in God, and He's greater than any reasoning. And I think that's pretty much all I got for
Are
that.
you sure you didn't have nothing written down?
No,
Wow. You came up with a lot of good stuff there. You did good.
thank you.
You did good.
I, I
They come from your brain. It's like that's like that. You done really good on that.
I tried to like write some stuff down, but I could think of it, and the more I researched, the more I thought of stuff. I just couldn't write it down the way I wanted it. Like it was hard.
Hey, it don't matter because as long as you come out with a good word, hey,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if it's written out or not.
I was trying to put it in like a experience of my own
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes that's just easier to explain something that happened to you. It's just easier to explain it like that.
The way I whatever I got, it ain't gonna be nowhere near as long, but I still think it's pretty good. But surrendering to me is seen as obedience to God. because it's surrendering and trusting in God's plan when the destination isn't clear is defining faith. Faith is stepping out of your own belief. It's the courage to keep on going when you don't know the path. God's plan and wisdom is greater than our own logic. And this Bible study has shown me a new light on how I can be more obedient. Because ultimately, surrendering, which is also seen as obedience to God, is the best thing we can do. I think that that topic I kind of saw it as kind of short and sweet, kind of um, because the topic is very straight to the point. It isn't about logic; it's about surrendering. When you have faith, the more faith you have, the more obedience, in my opinion, you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can work on that um, in my life personally. I feel like a lot of people can work on it. That's faith is really one of those things that you can't really never have enough of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like as Christians, we need to work every day to build more and more upon our own faith, like our current faith.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because that's our goal. Our goal is to get closer to God. So how do we do that? We trust in Him. We do what He says. We obey Him. We surrender a whole life to Him. When He says kick somebody to the curb, kick him to the curb.
Um, you get rid of that.
When He says run down the street and yell, just yell at the top of your lungs going down the street with people everywhere. Do it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding there. And that's, I mean, if He tells you do it, do it. But I mean, if He ain't telling you to do it, please don't do it. If drugs are telling you to do it, don't do it. Um, but I feel like this was a good little lesson here today.
Hmm.
Um, it kind of gave me more insight. Like I said, it gave me more insight, more information that I need to apply more to my life. And that's the whole purpose of us doing the Bible studies is just so that we can grow
Hmm.
as human beings, grow
And
our spirits.
if you ever wonder, like one of those late night thoughts, laying in bed and it comes to your mind about surrendering to God, there's a song called I Surrender, and by Lizzie Morgan. She's really good. I like her. And it talks about letting go of your control and laying down your pride and just giving everything to God. And so if you ever need like if you're ever wondering about surrendering, I would highly recommend listening to that song.
Well, that's gonna be the end for our episode today. I hope you enjoyed. I sure enjoyed it. I enjoyed every episode, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But make sure to go back if you didn't see the our socials before the screen right here. Make sure to go back, go follow us on TikTok, Instagram. If and also if you're on YouTube and you have Apple, make sure to go follow us on Apple Podcast. If you're on Apple Podcast, make sure to go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That will
Hmm.
also help us out. Um,
Spread the word,
yes.
spread the gospel.
Yes.
Spread
Tell,
love.
tell your friends. I challenge everybody. I challenge everybody who listens to this podcast this week. I challenge them to tell at least two people.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, tell at least two people. And then when you tell them that, you challenge them to tell two people.
Tell a stranger.
And then so that they tell then they tell that person to go tell two more friends.
Hmm.
We can only hope, but um, I hope you had a good time in listening. And remember to keep seeking your purpose.